think doing a lot of retail culture training lately, there's always something that comes back into the conversation is what do you do with the sales at reception level? Who gets the commission? Who does what? But I've spoken to the client in the room, so therefore it's, if the client comes back 2 weeks later, she wants that particular product, who does it go to? The receptionist or the therapist? It's such a big kind of conversation topic every single time.
Yeah, and the last thing you want is for the teams to be fighting between each other, because then your team culture is completely, struck with this issue. So it's something that really needs to be worked on. I mean, commission in itself anyway is a really tricky subject for every owner I've ever met. However big or small the business is, it's always one of those tricky things, and it's just key to make it has to work for your business. You can't just pick a commission structure off the shelf and make that work. No. But then it has to work so that everybody in the business is rewarded in some way. So it's working that out. It's such a difficult subject, because in particular when it comes to the reception sales, like we're dealing with a member at the moment who she's got 4 receptionists, 2 part-times and 2 full-time. One of the full-timer is particularly strong at sales. So if we change what I believe is one of the strongest way of dealing with reception sales, which I'll tell you in a minute, but if we change it, it means that she's carrying everyone else's sales at reception level. Yeah. She's going to get the same as the other 3 receptionists who are not as strong sellers as she is. Yeah. So is that really empowering for her? Not really. It's not fair to change it. So we've got to look at it on an individual basis, because my favorite one, and this is what I've done to stop that kind of fight and to really work on that retail culture, is to give the receptionist a bonus rather than percentage, a bonus on the overall sales achieved on retail. So if we decide that is £8,000 every month on retail, or £5,000 every month of retail, if it was us it's £20,000 every month of retail, then that means that you get a bonus. And you could have a target and a super target and a super stretch target, and you've got 3 different tiers bonus that the receptionist can do. But then the question to the owner was from the owner to me was very much, but how do I do that when one of the receptionists is super strong and the other ones are not? It's tricky, right? What was your answer?
My answer is that she's right. I think it's very, very difficult to analyse. So we have to analyse overall how much commission did she make. Yeah. If she's going to earn bonus, for the year, if she's going to earn bonus, it shouldn't be less than what she's already earned. Yes. Otherwise, it's not powerful. Yeah. And we're creating an individual program where she's going to be the one kind of maybe more dealing with the brands and doing more of the. So I'm not saying a trainer as such, but maybe more of an ambassador of the brands.
So therefore she might be on a higher salary potentially.
Yes, potentially we're looking at the budget for her to be on a little bit more, for her to, train the girls, doing more training with the receptionist and the new therapist, etc. So there is ways of looking at it, but obviously before we go and talk to her and say this is what we're going to do, we've got to come back with something really strong where she's going to feel this is great, this is I want this.
Yes, and the rest of the team feel.
And the rest of the team, I think they'll be fine because they're going to earn more money.
Yeah. And then
but that could encourage them even more.
Yes, and then that also eliminates the fight between.
It absolutely, in every case, has eliminated this fight between therapists and receptionists, because there is in the receptionist's interest to encourage that sale and finish that sale. Yeah. So it doesn't matter if Mrs. Delforge is coming 2 weeks later and is wanting the product. It doesn't matter if it's been recommended in a room or if I just saw it on TV, advertised on TV.
Everyone wants to sell.
So therefore that sale goes into the overall target. So everyone's winning, or if it's like, well, yeah, I saw Amy 2 weeks ago, and therefore she's recommended. Well, it goes on to Amy's name.
I love that.
But it is very difficult to change the mindset around this, and for it to be very empowering on all accounts. And I have to say, some accounts we haven't been able to do that.
No.
Because it's so anchored into, well, the receptionist gets their sales and that's it. It's so anchored, it's very, very difficult to get rid of that in some ways.
Yeah.
So it's got to be an analysis on the business audit, on really understanding where is it that you want to go with it. We've got a lot of people with a lot of brands that they're dealing with, isn't it? Like little shops as such.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like anything else we deal with, everything has to be bespoke for that business and personalised to that business. Change just needs to be communicated properly to the team, and the team need to be on board, and they need to understand the reason behind the changes and why you're doing it and how they can benefit and so on. But that's more of the delivery of the change.
For sure.
But
this receptionist could come back and say, look, I'm not happy with that. Then what does she want? How can we make it better?
Yeah.
And maybe that's not the solution for them, and then she might have a solution we never thought of.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe there's a record, there's another, technology is amazing nowadays, so maybe, and this is what we've done with a big spa, where, oh no, we don't want that because we're getting a lot of walk-ins, and we don't want, the receptionist to feel they're missing out. Now it's recorded in the notes in the iPad that they have in the room, what they've recommended.
Yes.
Now you've got a really good customer journey, and the therapist is not missing out on everything they've recommended. Thank you for joining us. We really enjoy sharing our thoughts on various topics. If you have a burning question, simply comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button to keep up to date with each new episode.